Welcome back to Indiana Diecast Racing and the continuing action of the Final Fantasy Fracas. Today we've got groups 63 and 64. In Group 63, representing Funky Mother Chicken Racing, it's Yuna driving Nirvana, a Hot Wheels 50 concept weighing 37 grams. From Uncle Jim's Janky Jalopies, it's Uncle Jim himself at the helm of Toy Box, a 47-gram rocket box. A young driver from Scotland, James Elliott hails from Scotland 18. Little James is driving a 50-gram RD03 called Scotland. And lastly, from one of my favorite diecast racing channels, Shannon BR is representing Down Squad Racing in I Hate Tomatoes, a rogue hog coming in at 37 grams. Yuna and Jim start up front, James and Shannon in the back. Yuna gets a car length advantage on the inside lane, and James throws a double block as they slide down the coroplast. James Elliott drops to the back, and Yuna has wrecked. It's a massive pileup in the center section. They beat and bang into the square, and Uncle Jim gets tossed off the track by Shannon. Shannon and James limp their way to the finish for a double DNF opening lap. The back three started to get linked up pretty early, exiting turn 2, nearly going 3 wide. Yuna rolls and Uncle Jim spins through Echo Base, setting off a chain reaction that could have easily resulted in a quadruple DNF. Yuna gets pushed halfway around the square, and Uncle Jim falls off the C47 turn when he fails to carry enough speed around the top. That and Shannon gave him a polite little tap. A pretty eventful opening lap, Down Squad and Scotland 18 on top. James assumes the pole, Yuna on the outside. Shannon with an awkward start, but he's quickly gaining speed. Single file through turn 2. James and Shannon slide through Echo Base. Uncle Jim rolls while Yuna tries to undercut Shannon. James Elliott wins lap 2. Shannon BR is second and Yuna third. Bad luck for Uncle Jim, already running in the back. He takes a weird bounce off the wall in the S's and simply rolls over like a dog begging for a treat. James pulls into a tie with Shannon after 2, the pair overwhelmingly out front. Shannon and James look to put this one away from the front row on lap 3. Again, the inside lane with the advantage, and Shannon leads with Uncle Jim looking to place well. Jim loses control and nearly causes a pileup while Shannon pulls away. James Elliott with trouble and he's on his roof. Shannon BR wins the lap and Jim is stopped. He takes a hit from Yuna, who rolls to a second place finish. Jim will take a very fortunate 2 points after regaining enough speed to make it to the line. Lots to unpack here. Jim gets loose following turn 2, but the back 3 seem to settle down until James ricochets off the walls of the S and flips himself. Jim slows and spins on the final straight, nearly DNFing, if not for Yuna. Shannon of Down Squad Racing, looking great, locks up his spot in round 2. Yuna and James Elliott will compete for second on lap 4. And the pair will go head-to-head from the back row. A dead heat through turn 1 as Uncle Jim looks to play the spoiler. You know, despite not having a spoiler. Everyone gets wild in the S section, and Yuna rolls! James Elliott doesn't even have to finish the lap as he will clinch the second spot from the group. Uncle Jim brings home a somewhat meaningless lap victory to close out his tournament. Shannon never finishes worse than second, and another entry from Scotland moves on.
Hey kids, Dean from Beaverworks Diecast Racing. Now you want some really cool custom water slide decals for your builds? Check out Rust Belt Customs. Oh yeah.
Contact Rust Belt Customs on Facebook today.
We hop over to Group 64 with a Donate to Drive car. Donnie Karabatsos is driving the Vapor Racing built Skeletal Coup, an 80-gram bone speeder. Competing against one of his own builds, it's the Sneaky Bob, patron of Vapor Racing, in Purple Haze, a Count Muscula weighing 84 grams. From Disaster DC, Xander, the Sandman Sandrick, is driving Meow, a 57-gram fast feline. Hopefully he doesn't put us all to sleep today. And rounding out the group in a 75-gram stock car called Slingshot Engaged, it's Bobby Gray for Arlo Racing. An all Vapor Racing front row with Donnie and Sneaky Bob. Sandman and Bobby in the back. Donnie nudges ahead and Sandman has to throw a block to stop Bob. Xander's up on the curb and Sneaky Bob rolls him off the track. Donnie wins, Bob is second, and Bobby bounces around the final straight for third. Xander couldn't quite clear Sneaky Bob in turn 2 and had to throw a block to avoid getting passed up outright. He overcorrects exiting Echo Base, and a helpful bump from Sneaky Bob sends the Sandman bagging over the wall. A great opening lap for Vapor Racing. Xander assumes the pole, looking to take some revenge. He's just able to pull ahead, and this time Bobby has to throw a block. Bobby Gray breaks free, and Xander's on his roof just inside the square. Everyone sails past, and it's Bobby, Donnie, and Sneaky Bob. The Sandman took a significant lead into Echo Base and must have rolled just off camera. And yes, we are working on that. A pair of donuts is going to make it really tough for Xander to get back in this race. Donnie still on top. Second place, Bobby Gray assumes the pole for lap 3. He gets a great start, and they hit turn 2 single file. Bob fakes inside, and Bobby wipes out. Xander and Donnie smash through, and Xander's all over the place. He nearly wrecks, and Bob's in trouble. They come to the line, and Sneaky Bob holds on for the win, but Xander and Donnie grind to a halt mere inches from the finish line. It's a triple DNF on lap 3, and that could be huge for Bobby Gray. Tough day to be out front as Bobby Gray gets loose on the coroplast, and I can't quite tell, but it looks like Sneaky Bob was maybe a little sneaky once again. It's all Xander can do just to stay on the track in reverse, with Donnie laying on the pressure, and he gets turned sideways exiting the final turn, becoming a very green roadblock on the final straight. Sneaky Bob vaults to a 2-point lead over teammate Donnie, but Donnie's DNF very much allows Bobby to stay in this with 1 to go. Vapor Racing on the inside, and they lead as Bobby Gray spins. The front pair blast away, and this one's probably over. No! Ooh! Donnie takes a hard hit from a fast-charging Bobby Gray, but all it does is save him from a DNF, likely eliminating Bobby from the tournament. A big day for Vapor Racing, who put 2 more through to the second round. And some generally higher than average scores today. Not sure if that's right for this channel. Congrats to Bobby Gray, who makes the wildcard list, and this just in, there will be 32 wildcards who will fight for 4 spots in round 2, so all the drivers you see here will at least get a shot. Congratulations to Shannon BR, Sneaky Bob, Donnie, and James Elliott. This has been Jim D for Indiana Diecast Racing. Be sure to check in next time for more slightly above mediocre diecast racing and the continuing round 1 action of the Final Fantasy Fracas.